We're following reaction tonight to a stunning new interview President Trump just gave on North Korea, threatening to deal with the North Korean nuclear threat with or without the help of China. Earlier today, the president told the Financial Times, quote, well, if China is not going to solve North Korea, we will. And this is tough talk coming just days before Trump hosts Chinese President Xi Jinping for his Florida resort, and it'll be their first face-to-face meeting. Let's bring in CNN Global Affairs correspondent Elise Labott, who's on assignment in Jerusalem. Elise, thanks for making time for us. How does this interview with the Financial Times set the table, so to speak, for these important talks? Is this as big of a deal as it seems?
Well, Anna, you know that President Trump is a real tough talker, and I think this is kind of his opening gambit. This is kind of similar, if you will, to what Secretary of State Rex Tillerson did on the road on the eve of his meeting with President Xi in Beijing from South Korea. He was talking about that North Korea policy of the last 20 years, what we've called strategic patience, wasn't working. And so I think President Trump is sending a signal to the Chinese that the U.S. wants China to use its considerable leverage on North Korea. And if it doesn't, the U.S., as he said, will go it alone. Now, what could that mean? It could obviously mean a preemptive strike. It could mean some kind of covert action, such as a cyber action. But it could also mean more sanctions. And what we're talking about is really what they call secondary sanctions, which are sanctions on Chinese companies. And the Chinese know this very well. Chinese companies that are doing business with North Korea. And certainly that was a message that Secretary Tillerson warned the Chinese about when he was there. And so I think President Trump in this interview is saying there's a lot of pressure we could put on China to make sure that they're playing ball, Anna.